Hi, my name is Kelsey DeVigelis. I'm a graduate student at the University of Houston-Clear Lake, and today I'm going to be talking about cluster sets. Simply put, a cluster set is taking rests in between with your sets. So if I'm doing maybe a set of 20 reps, breaking it that 20 reps into smaller increments and having rest periods in between your reps. This can be beneficial for all different kinds of exercise. So that being strength, power, hypertrophy, endurance, depending on how you utilize the rest to work ratio. It is mostly done with compound movements. It can lead to enhanced power by allowing for partial recovery. So when you're taking those little breaks, it allows for your body to recover a lot quicker, as therefore you're able to perform at a lot more efficient rate. There have been a lot of studies that have compared the benefits and the contraindications of a cluster set versus a traditional set. A study I've found used college students to compare cluster sets versus traditional sets in plyometric training at max intensity. So in that study, they compared counter movement jumps, standing long jumps, a T-test, 20-meter, and a 40-meter sprint test. The traditional group went about with 20 reps with 5 sets with a 2-minute rest period in between those sets. In the cluster group, they did 20 reps in 5 sets with 2 by 10 reps. So they would do 2 reps, take a rest 10 times with 30 to 90 seconds rest. So in that study, they found that there were similar improvements. However, the magnitude of improvement for counter movement jumps, standing long jumps, and a T-test during a cluster set showed a lot more improvement, and the magnitude of improvement in the 20-meter to 40-meter sprint was greater in the traditional group, as you can see in this chart right here. You can see that the numbers between the pre and post groups, you can see the change within those cluster sets in the asterisks, meaning that there was a significant difference between the pre and the post test. So what this study shows you is that when you're performing movements that require a lot of plyometric, power movements, explosive energy, you're probably going to get a more significant result from performing it at a cluster set, allowing your body to recover properly so you can maintain proper form. But if you're looking for more of that endurance speed, the traditional set seems to be like it would yield more positive results. Another study yielded kind of the same response in that when they compare plyometrics in cluster sets and plyometrics in traditional sets, they saw a lot more improved maintenance within plyo jumps and cluster sets as opposed to into those traditional sets, because at those traditional sets they were only allowed to like kind of near complete recovery rather than that complete recovery that cluster sets provide. Some benefits to performing cluster sets include it increases your total volume because you're taking that break a lot more often. You're able to increase your volume load while keeping that same rep to set ratio. It also helps to break down that plateau. So instead of going for like the full 20 reps at a certain intensity or certain workload, you're breaking that down, taking more recovery, allowing your body to fully heal in between those reps, therefore allowing for that greater lift so that can help prevent plateauing. Another benefit to performing cluster sets is that it prevents poor form and it slows down the onset of fatigue. Some cons or contraindications to performing cluster sets would be if you are short on time. It is very time consuming because you're breaking down a full set and all these reps and you're breaking them down even further and adding a lot more breaks. So it is quite time consuming. So if you're on a bit of a schedule, might not be the best option. As well as that, if you're performing volumes and intensities below or at your normal, it might not be stimulating enough because you're taking so many breaks that your body might not really need. So, I mean, it's the time to really kind of amp up your volume or your intensity to something that's a little bit more challenging, so where you are gaining a lot from those breaks rather than the breaks just hindering or slowing you down. Thank you so much for listening. Once again, my name is Kelsey DeVigalis. All my sources are in the description below if you want to have a look at those. Thank you.